Howdy y'all, it's Chris with Show Up Fitness. Favorite trainer in the belt buckle. Today we're going to be talking about the trapezius muscle. Before we get into it, make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to become a trainer down here in La Jolla, December 2nd, Los Angeles, the new year, 2020, we're aiming for January 6th. Check out the website, showupfitness.com if you want to become an awesome trainer. We got some new shirts, some new swag, looks like Def Leppard, these are badass. Check out Show Up Fitness shop. So, trapezius. Looks like a trapezoid. It's right in the middle part of your back. The cool thing about the trapezius, one muscle, three parts, is where it originates. The upper trap starts on the external occipital protuberance. That's the notch on the back of your skull. It's pretty crazy, right? The traps start way up there, back of your skull. The middle trap, C7 through T3, spinious process. So when you check out Skelly right here, which you'll see, if you can see, if you get, it's the little spine right here for each vertebrae. Remember, there's 33 vertebrae, C1 through C7, T1 through T12. Those aren't Terminator movies, that's thoracic. And then we have 5 lumbar, L1 through L5. Then we have 9 thews for the sacrum and the coccyx. Then we have the nerves coming out. Those are peripheral nerves protecting the spinal column, which is your central nerve. So then we have the lower trapezius, T4 through T12, so right in the middle part of the back. And if you bend your head forward and you feel that first little notch back here, that's going to be C7. They insert, the upper one's lateral third of the clavicle. So the clavicle, right here, the lateral portion, most broken bone in the human body, so the lateral third, so the traps are going to come through and insert, right, upper trap will be there. Middle trap is going to be the spine of the scapula. So it's going to come through right over to here. And then we have the root of the spine for the lower one. The root of the spine is going to be right here. So here's the spine, the root is at the end, just like a tree, it comes down, so the root is right there. Action, the upper traps are going to elevate, and when the humerus abducts, the scapula is going to upwardly rotate. The middle trap is going to work with retraction. So the opposite is called protraction, the scap's coming off the back. It's always funny when you hear a trainer say when you do a row, lock down and just work with the humerus. No, that's false. The humerus and the scapula work in juxtaposition. For every 2 degrees that the humerus needs to go through, the scapula should be moving 1. So they work together. So when you're rowing, you want to get your scaps off the back. You pull down. If you pull your hand more into your pocket, you're going to get more lat activation because you're limiting elbow flexion. Your scapulas are retracting. A band pull apart is a great exercise, but we see it fail a lot because we eccentrically come off too fast. Control, squeeze together, and then come back. I would prefer to see boom, fast, concentrically hold, squeeze, 2, and then come down nice and slow. Avoid initiation from upward traps. So I don't want that. Down and back. And last but not least, the lower traps are going to work with depression and upward rotation. So depression and then upward rotation as well with a force couple for the upper. So upward rotation. So how do the lower traps work with upward rotation? It's because of where they insert. Root of the spine. So they come right here, that's where they insert. So they're going to initiate the scaps coming off the back. A lot of times we see a dominant upper trap, a weakened lower trap, and then also with the force couple, the serratus. The serratus is going to work with moving the scapula upward. So some exercises that we should be doing if you want to develop your traps, mostly dudes. Farmer's walks. Do these regularly, every day. You're primarily type 1 muscle fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers can grow just as much as type 2. And remember, a muscle is always comprised of both. It's not just a 1 fiber or a 2 fiber. Even the heart has type 2 muscle fibers. So it's a combination of both. So if you want big traps, start doing more farmer's carries. Aim for your body weight, half in each hand, and walk for a football field. So 200 pounds, 100, 100, walk for a football field. If you can do that, I bet you have some pretty nice looking traps. Upward, what do I call these? Upward rows? Upright rows, there we go. And then make sure that your humerus doesn't go past 90 degrees. It's hitting all 3 parts of the trapezius, upper, middle, and lower. Lateral raises. Surprisingly, people think it's just for your lateral deltoid, but what's happening to my scapula? My scapula is coming up. So my upper traps are working when you do a lateral raise. If you really want to get you feel that in your upper traps, do like a super overload. So say you can do 20 pounds, grab like a 30 pound and use momentum and then hold and let it come down eccentrically. Use momentum and hold eccentrically. What's the best way to do a push-up? Work on the eccentrics. What's the best way to be able to do a pull-up? Work on the eccentrics. Get up there and then come down. So damage the tissue, the nervous system is going to adapt to be able to handle that weight or body weight. Farmer's walks, upright rows, lateral raises, all great exercises for your traps. Trapezius, one muscle, 3 parts, one of the 17 muscles of the shoulder. Origin, upper, middle, and lower, insertions where it goes, and then the actions. Check out our Instagram and our YouTube for the 3 Instagram-worthy trap exercises. Have a great day.